Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and our year to shine. You are finding me on my vacation and I wanted to show you my beautiful view here down on the water. I love it. I never want to leave here. Next video I'll probably be back at home. And this view behind me here, I'll do like a quick little panoramic shot so you can see. This is what I've been looking at from inside where I'm staying. It's a little cottage on the water here, and there's these giant windows looking out to this beautiful body of water, and I've seen some really amazing birds that I've never seen before, and I've just been feeling so peaceful. So thank you for joining me. It's appropriate that this next guidepost from Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection to talk about today is cultivating gratitude and joy, because definitely you feel joy on vacation, right? I certainly have been. And also I will say I'm going to be abbreviating this because not only did we talk about this so much last year, but secondly, because I've recorded a few videos here on this device, I'm running out of space, so I have to make this one on the shorter side. But you will recall last year in our Simple Abundance year with Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, gratitude was at the basis of Simple Abundance. And what was Simple Abundance? If you recall, it's finding the joy in the little things, like savoring the seasons, savoring nature, and waking up with spring in your step, and finding things that you love. So what is the difference between joy and happiness? That's something that Brene, I got them confused. Sarah talked about that too, but Brene in this chapter in the guidepost talks a bit about the difference between happiness and joy. And what she's found in her research is that happiness is something that's dependent on circumstances. Like you may gain happiness from eating an ice cream or something that's in front of you. Like I'm finding happiness in this beautiful view that I have. But joy, we talked about the stained glass quote from the last video. Joy is like that light that shines from within, from your soul. But it doesn't have to be brought about by something hugely momentous. It can come from those little moments of simple abundance, some of those things that I just referenced. And of course, with every guidepost, Brene says that with this one, we have to let go of scarcity and fear of the dark. And not fear of the dark at night, but fear of the dark side of things. And here we are shining the light on the dark side of things, right? And there's been quite a bit. And I'm right there with you guys, and so is Brene. So she says that all of her research has really taught her so much about how she wants to live life. And just hearing stories from people and putting all the pieces together helps her really see what is helping people live in this wholehearted way. And people that live in a wholehearted way, they embrace joy, and they also have a gratitude practice. And we talked so much about that last year. Are you guys still doing that, or did you drop off with that? I have not been good about it this year, if I'm totally honest. But it is something good to have some sort of a practice, whether it's in a notebook or in your phone, or taking a moment every day to pray in a way where you're grateful. She even mentions that, say you're having a moment of fear, or she mentioned being afraid of the dark, things like that, as far as like being afraid of those negative emotions. If you're having a moment like that, you could say something like, acknowledge it and say, I'm so afraid right now, but I'm really grateful for blah, blah, blah. And sort of trying to turn the statement around in that way. I like that. I haven't tried that. And she also mentions in this chapter about her TGIF activity, which was something that I referenced, and I've sort of tailored it in my own way, but I referenced it in my journal video from last year. You can check that out in the Simple Abundance playlist. I think it's the second video that I recorded last year. And it's something that she does on her blog every Friday. So the G in that one is grateful. So check that out and you can read more about what she does on Fridays. As far as scarcity, we talked a ton about that in our discussion of Laurie McCammon's book Enough earlier this year. And she had us questioning whether scarcity even exists, right? So there's so much in this that really ties into a lot of things that we've already talked about. Oh, and I wanted to mention too, and I was thinking about this a lot because I watched something recently, a documentary on some of the parents of the victims of the Sandy Hook school shooting. It was back in 2013, I think. And one of the moms has been such a proponent of still embracing joy even through traumatic experiences. And the loss of a child, Brene references that near the end of the chapter about how when you ask a parent who has lost a child, what are the things that they remember as far as those moments of joy that they savor with their kids that are now gone. And it's always the little moments, like we used to walk in our favorite park, or we used to read together at night, or just the snuggles, or we had this little secret code that we had together, things like that. So it wasn't like giant things, like maybe it might have been we went to Disney World, but those sorts of things are sort of small when you're thinking about everything together. It's more like those little simple abundance moments. So, and when I was watching this documentary, one thing, and this is kind of like about the resilience too that we talked about in the last video, this one particular mom had a grief counselor who told her from her own experience of losing a child. She said, it's never going to get any better. You're never going to feel any better than this. And mom was like, I refuse to accept that. Like, I have to come to a place of peace and forgiveness and acceptance with this. And so she has written a book, and I'm sorry I didn't prepare to talk about it, but I will try to find it and put it in the notes of this video. But she has made a practice of trying to live with joy and honoring the memory of her son as well is touching the lives of others. So even in great tragedy, there's still the ability to have the choice to reach for joy. So I'm going to cut it off there because I don't want to run out of space on my device, but thank you for being here. There's so much to reference with gratitude and joy that we've talked about already. I don't mean to gloss over it, but just under the circumstances, I'm cutting this one short. Plus, I'm losing daylight as well. So I'm glad I got to bring you here on my vacation. I will see you on the next video. Let me know how you're doing, and maybe if you are going to start up a practice of gratitude to help with your joy work. Love to you all. Bye-bye.